And here with more retired Air Force Brigadier General, U.S. Deputy Military Representative to NATO, and Newsmax contributor Blaine Holt, plus former Undersecretary of Defense and former Secretary of Veterans Affairs Robert Wilkie. General Holt, I'm going to start with you. Of course, you are very connected with NATO, as we shared. Do you feel that President Zelensky's outburst, as it's being described, is warranted? And do you think he is correct?
So it's great to be with you all. This is exactly what we thought was going to happen at this summit, that it was going to come in very unscripted, not like previous summits. This is a unique, one of a kind for the alliance, because deals were struck really early into the morning hours before they all got out on stage this morning. And you can tell that by what we see President Zelensky and how his reaction is to what the best NATO could offer as an alliance in terms of notions of future membership in the alliance, which don't come with timetables, just conditions about democracy and corruption and reforms that the alliance wants to see. This is going to be a very, very tough political pill for Zelensky to swallow and to take back to Kiev. It's going to make his own internal politics much trickier. And all I can tell you is this entire thing has just gotten way more complicated. Russia will take advantage of this on the battlefield.
Having said that, Mr. Wilkie, the fear that Putin instilled in his populace, if you will, was that the West was trying to get Russia, that they were getting bigger in NATO. Now you've added Finland and Sweden, Ukraine trying to get there. Does that strengthen his argument to the people of Russia, or does it show that he doesn't even have the power to take Ukraine and he's losing?
Well, exactly. And, Putin, the great strategist, has accelerated two major military powers in Europe, Finland and Sweden. His north flank is now exposed to two very sophisticated militaries. I want to play on something that the general said, and this is typical Biden with his faculty lounge strategist at the National Security Council. Putin is still in his head. So are the Germans, and so are the French. It's the Eastern Europeans and the Baltic states who have been saying that the trump card that we have is to put Ukraine on a clear timetable to accession. That is the card that you can go to the negotiating table with Putin on. Not immediately declare membership, because then that actually does what you said, Bob. That puts us at war with the Russian Federation by declaring an Article 5 emergency. But this is typical Biden, leftist European, take no decisions nonsense that I think, and the general's right, I think it's just going to prolong the agony.
Final thoughts, General Holt.
Yeah, so, just to build on this point, we're left in a very weak situation. We don't have the proper logistics to mount a proper counteroffensive. There's no close air support, which is why the killing fields are so damn deadly. And we're going to see more of this, but more importantly, globally, look at what our enemies are looking at right now. China, Iran, North Korea, they are just getting and saying there is so much opportunity here in an alliance that can't get its act together about how to conduct its affairs. And I think we're just going to see more problems on the road ahead.
Running short on time, also happening today, General Brown facing the Senate Armed Services Committee before a vote to confirm him. Let's take a listen to his interaction with Missouri Senator Eric Schmitt.
In this memo, of this obsession with sort of race-based politics being interjected into our military. How did you come up with the percentage of 67.5% of the officers should be white? And how did you come up with 13% should be black? And how did you come up with 10% should be Asian? And how did you come up with 1.5% should be American Indian and Native Alaskan? How did you come up with 1% being Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander? And how did you come up with 15% of our officers should be Hispanic or Latino?
Senator, that is based on that memo is on application goals, not the actual makeup of the force. And those numbers are based on the demographics of the nation.
Robert, I know he has a lot of support from people that respect him a great deal. Not everybody was happy with that exchange. What are your thoughts?
Well, he was a fine pilot, and with many generals who encountered the Biden administration, those proud histories seem to go by the wayside. What he's not saying, and what Senator Schmidt didn't bring up, is that his own Secretary of the Air Force now says that race will be a key factor in all promotions and assignments in the service that I serve in, still as a reservist, and the general service. It's a shame. It is destroying our military. The reason we have such low recruitment numbers is not just Afghanistan, but this administration and the incoming chairman of the Joint Chiefs wants to divide our force amongst racial, sexual, and ethnic groups, and that is contrary to the American warrior ethos.
General Holt, your thoughts?
It's not American. It's not consistent with our oath to the Constitution. And it's a very, very bad day for our military and our nation when we say there is no meritocracy in trying to be effective in defending your nation. Because honestly, the best of the best is what's required to keep this nation free and secure.
All right, General Blaine Holt, Secretary Robert Wilkie, really appreciate your insights as always. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.